into myself, what a wonderful world.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So we've headed up to Manor Park Classics today. Main reason being, it's one of the only classic car auctions in the UK we haven't visited yet, so we thought we'd pop up here. They've got a huge selection of classic cars going under the hammer today, so let's have a look around. Let's start off with this 1989 Vauxhall Nova, which is a true survivor from the 80s. The little 1.2 Merit Nova has got MOT until September 2023. The Nova is described to be in very solid condition, although it does have quite a few battle scars. You can see from just looking down that rear quarter, it's got a dent on pretty much every panel, I'd say. Original 1980s dealer sticker in the back as well. Anyway, the Nova is offered as a no reserve, so whatever this sells for, it's going to go home for that price.
Last time, this time, ladies and gentlemen, £2,100 on selling or away. Sold away at £2,100.
Next up, we've got this 1990 Ford P100 pickup. One thing I've already noticed about this auction, they put these Manor Park Classic stickers on all the cars. It's a nice little touch. In the description of the pickup, it says it's only covered 18,000 miles. I'm not quite sure if that's warranted, but if it is, it's a really low mileage P100. Quite a clean engine bay. Looks like it's had a little bit of TLC, but it's 2 litre Pinto in there. But as for rust wise on this old Ford, it looks really clean. Front valance, wings, inner wings, really clean. Even the bonnet hasn't got a speck of rust on it. It says the P100 has MOT until September 2024, but I'm assuming that's a slight error. I'm assuming it's this year, so it's got MOT until September 2023. Anyway, the estimate on the Ford pickup is £5,000 to £6,000.
Against your around the globe, £3,800. Provisional number 90 at £3,800.
You now join me in another Ford made in 1990. This one being a XR3i. The Recaros aren't in the worst of conditions. Got a fag butt mark in there, burn hole. Very common for the old seats. And when I originally come across this earlier, I said, oh, it's an RS Turbo, but it's not, it's a XR3i. So they've made it look like a RS Turbo, putting all the kit on it and whatnot. Yet to find out what engine's in the bay, so let's go and have a look at that. Just checking out the engine bay, in particular, the battery tray. That looks like it's been really well repaired and restored. Looks nice in there. Rest of the engine bay is alright. Could do with a tidy up, but doesn't look too bad. The XR3i does have its factory sunroof, but there's all signs of rust blisters all around it. As you can see, the camera's just picking them up now. Bodywork could do with quite a bit of TLC, to be honest. Anyway, the XR3i has MOT until this December, so quite a long MOT. The estimate is £5,500 to £6,500. Just looking around this 1991 Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. Gone from one end of the paint spectrum to the other one. This paint is absolutely immaculate. Just checking out the interior. Lovely and original still. It's only covered 19,000 miles. Yep, that's 19. You'll have to forgive me for my slight lack of knowledge here. This is number 55 out of 100 of the Rose Sport Sierra Cosworth Sapphires made. It's got to be quite rare, surely. And it must be even rarer because Lauren's just informed me that they only produce 78 of these cars, even though they plan to produce 100 Rose Sport models. Only thing that's letting it down at the rear is this spoiler. It's yeah, had a bit of work on it and it's all rippled and horrible. Here is the engine bay with its Cosworth Turbo engine in there. You guys will have to inform me a bit more about this Rose Motorsport, whether they tuned this engine or what they actually done differently to the Sierra Sapphires. You've got a badge on there, Rose Sport. They're just recommending what oil type to use. Anyway, the estimate on the Sierra Sapphire is £35,000 to £40,000.
£45,750 against return, fair warning, selling away in the salary, £45,750. So all reported, so well done.
Now here we have a genuine RS Turbo Escort. This is a Series 1, originally from Spain. As I say, the Escort is from Spain, so it's a left-hand drive model. Still, the interior does look in reasonable condition. Oh, very good condition actually. The difference between this Escort and the other one we just looked at is the sunroof has got no rust or no imperfections in the paint around it. It's lovely, that is. The RS Turbo came into the UK in 2015 and since then it's only had one UK owner. It's really good to see the standard of the Escort continues in the engine bay. It's all nice and clean in here, no visible signs of rust or anything. There is the 1600s Turbo CVH engine. The engine is said to have only covered 59,000 kilometres. The estimate is £25,000 to £27,000.
Finished and done that anywhere outside. Finished and done on the internet at £20,000. It's provisional. We'll try for you again, sir. The 19 yet again.
We are on a bit of a Ford spree at the moment, so we might as well carry on with this immaculate Mark III Escort. Lauren's just reading off the information for me because they don't have catalogues here, so just got to read it as we go along. I was just praising the Escort's condition, but unfortunately it hasn't avoided the heat of the sun and all the dash is cracked. That's going to need reupholstering or a new one putting in. Although I did point out the dash, it is described to be in immaculate condition, and it really is. Even got like what looks like new zinc plated door buttons. The Mark III Escort 1.3 GL was supplied new in 1981 in Romford, Essex. It's still got the original dealer sticker in the back. I really like that when they come with a bit of history. According to the invoice that came with the car, when this was purchased new from Romford, it cost £4,850. The Escort has only covered 23,000 miles, which is pretty remarkable considering we keep seeing loads of low mileage Escorts and old Fords, but feeling under them arches, I can't feel no filler, which everyone was saying about in the last video, so I really do think this is the original paintwork. It's probably been machine polished up though. Really is clean, even down to like the brackets on the headlights. They all look brand new still. Engine bay looks in reasonably tidy condition. Now I could be wrong here. It's marked up as a 1.3 GL. I didn't think they'd done a 1.3 CVH. I could be wrong. I thought they only done 1.4 and 1.6. So yeah, please let me know in the comment section below if this is a 1.3 CVH or whether the engine must have been swapped. Either way, it's still stunning. The estimate on the Mark III Escort is £4,500 to £5,500.
Yes or no? Selling away on the internet then at £4,000. You're absolutely sure in the room about selling it away.
Now we come across a much better condition XR3i than the one we looked at previously in this video. This one is a 1989 model. It's from Essex as well, same as the Mark III Escort we just looked at. Looks like we're bringing the south up north today. Dash is in really good condition, no cracks or signs of sun deterioration. Seats are all standard, same with the door cards, very nice. No peeling on the door cards either, which is always good to see. I'm loving that today. Another one with the original Chigwell Essex dealer sticker in the back. Not that you can see it because it's really dark in there, but the boot is in real good condition. You can even tell by all the guttering and that. It's been looked after. Someone's cleaned all of that up. Pretty cool number plate as well. Really interesting finding about the information of these cars. This was bought from Essex again, and it cost just over £10,000 to buy new. There's the 1.6 CVH engine. in very presentable condition. The speedo's reading 19,000, but it has been over 100,000, so it's actually done 119,000 miles. The estimate on the XR3i is £11,000 to £13,000.
£10,000 and you're going to 10,000. Absolutely sure. Ladies and gentlemen, submitting the bid then on the Escort, £10,000 as provisional. We'll try for you. Just need you at the limit, please.
Just come into another carpeted section, looking at this 1993 Rover Mini Cooper. Wow, this looks really nice. Here is the 1.3 injection engine. You can tell it's had loads of bodywork done. There's still loads of body shop dust in here. Hasn't really been cleaned up or anything, but it's alright, nice and presentable. The Mini's got MOT until September, so it's on the road, ready to go. The estimate on the Mini Cooper is £7,000 to £8,000.
£200 finished done. Provisional liquid 6,200.
Moving from one red Mini to another red Mini. This one looks in really good condition. It's a 1995 Sprite. It's only covered 22,000 miles and I believe that is warranted, so yeah, that's very low mileage for the age of the car. Here is the 1275cc engine. It's an A series engine. I think it might be the same as the one in the other Mini, I'm not quite sure though. The estimate on the Mini Rover Sprite is £5,000 to £6,000.
Absolutely sure it is provisional at 3,800. Nick, we'll try for you. That is provisional.
Ford lovers will already be able to tell what car I'm in just by the pattern on them seats. It's a 1.3 Supersport Fiesta, another one from Spain, so it's left-hand drive. Lauren was just reading off some information of the Supersports. Apparently there's only 24 left, Mk1 Fiesta Supersports in the UK. Didn't know they were that rare. There's the engine bay, looking very presentable. 1.3 engine in there. Can't tell if these have been done or not, the inner wings. There's loads of sealant around it, but it kind of looks factory, so whether they've been done or not, I'm not too sure. Either way, it's a very clean engine bay. There's no rust on the front of that bonnet, which is always good to see. In the description of the advert, it says that the owner of the Mk1 Fiesta has most of the parts to do a right-hand drive conversion, so that'd be really cool if you could do that. Only thing that's missing is a parcel shelf. The overall condition of the Mk1 Fiesta Supersport is just really clean. I think it's had an easy life in Spain. Anyway, the estimate on the Supersport is £16,000 to £18,000.
Outright sale at £16,500. Fair warning from your auctioneer at home. Sold on the telephone at £16,500.
We're still on a bit of a Mini theme. This is a 1964 Mini Traveller. I'm really loving the green interior. Very original. Probably one of the most spacious Minis I've ever looked around. But yeah, literally is green everywhere, including the carpet. The Traveller has got 18,000 miles on the clock. They're not too sure whether it is or isn't warranted. Had a 5-year restoration, which finished in 2009, I believe. It's obviously tax and MOT exempt because it's made in 1964. The estimate is £15,000 to £18,000. We're just inside of a Austin Metro now, and there's loads of low mileage cars here. This has only done 15,000 miles, and that's warranted. That's crazy how low mileage it's done. Here's the engine bay, just show you guys around it. No real signs of rust. Old like wax oil, which is not a bad sight, not a bad sight. The estimate on the Austin Metro Automatic is £4,000 to £5,000.
Salary at £3,000 when it should be done. Try for you, that is provisional, George, at £3,000.
It is a very mustard interior. We're inside of a 1980 Vauxhall Chevette. They're very bold and 80s indeed. Probably one of the cleanest engine bays I've looked around today so far. Finished in like the gold colour. It's a 1.3 engine, rear wheel drive. Look how clean that is. And just get a couple of shots of the bodywork as well. It's in really good condition. I do say if there's many imperfections in these cars, but this one really is mint. Now, although the Vauxhall is like 43 years old, it's still got an MOT until March 2024, which is always nice to see at auction because you can trust the car that little bit extra. The estimate on the Vauxhall is £6,500 to £7,500.
Leaving it behind in the sale, fair warning, provisionally selling at £5,100 with link on the internet, provisional at £5,100.
We've just came outside to another bit of the auction, some of the cars that are out here, and I've spied this Range Rover. I'm not too clued up on these, you'll have to bear with me, but I did see them pull this out of a garage on their social media, maybe like a couple of weeks ago. All I know is this is a very rare Range Rover now with the two-door. Well, with the sale comes a whole load of parts or junk, whatever you decide to uncover. Most of the dash is still there, the seats look in good condition. It's sat in someone's garage for 30 years. It looks like quite a lot of the parts are there, but it's going to need a lot of TLC. The speedo only reads 14,000 miles. It's been locked up most of its life in a garage, so that probably is accurate. As you can see, it does need some restoration. Just reading up, apparently some of these Range Rovers make up to 6 figures. Don't know if that's mint or whether in restoration condition. Anyway, there's no estimate or guide price on a Range Rover. It is a no reserve today, so I think this will go for a pretty penny. Oh. Yeah, he did say it before. He said it before. Just looking around this Mark II Transit. It's a long wheelbase. It is huge in here. Something that slightly confused me is it's a fire engine, but it's only covered 18,000 kilometers, which is 11,000 miles. Surely it's covered more than that, but I don't know, maybe it was used in a film or something, or just not put into service, because that's really low mileage for a fire engine. Not sure if the arches are original or not. I think they are original, but I could be wrong. They just look really cool. The VIN is nice and visible. Spare air filter down there for some reason. Look how clean this is. There is not a speck of rust on it. It doesn't look like it's been resprayed either. I could be wrong, but it doesn't look like a fresh paint job. And it's got a Pinto in the engine bay. Not too sure whether it's a 1.6 Pinto, 1.8 or maybe a 2 litre. But I'm just really impressed at how clean that is. The whole vehicle is clean, to be honest. Here's just another shot of the back. I was just reading up, it is a 2 litre Pinto in the bay, but this is massive. One big door that opens upwards on the back. This would make a perfect camper van conversion. Just needs to be changed to right-hand drive as well. Anyway, the Mark II Transit has got MOT until November this year, so quite a reasonably long MOT, and the estimate is £16,000 to £18,000. There we go, guys, that brings it end to a very long day up here in Runcorn. The auction itself was really good. It's free to enter, but they don't provide a catalogue. They just provide like a run through list, so you know when the lots are going through. We had a wander around and there's really well detailed description of all the cars, so yeah, it's really well laid out in that sense. And also when the cars go through the auction, you've got like loads of drone clips while they're doing the auction and like some drive-by footage as well, so it's really cool and nice to have that shown whilst the auction is ongoing. So the reason why it was a little bit of a longer day, we thought the auction started at 11, so we got here at 9 and started looking around, but it's the motorbikes that start at 11 and then the classic cars start at 1 o'clock, so in future we'll just have to get here slightly later. It does actually say on their website, I just didn't read that to start off with. And also another reason it was slightly longer is because this was their biggest auction to date, so that's really good for them. But yeah, it was just a really long day, and yeah, there was sort of bits in between where we didn't have any lots that we're interested in, and yeah, it seemed to drag on a little bit, but that's just for us personally. One thing I did notice that was slightly different is that quite a few of the reserve cars had already sold before the auction, so they'd go through and flick to the next auction lot and they'll say it's already sold, which I've never seen before. Maybe someone's just offered them like a good price and they've taken that, but surely you would then still put that through the auction. But yeah, I don't know, there was just, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 cars that had already sold that were in the auction. So yeah, just something that I noticed I've never seen before. But overall, it was a good auction. I'm glad we made the journey up here to visit Manor Park Classics. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, and if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel to see more. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, we'll see you guys later.